Hello and welcome. This is Lenny, the Eclectic Shaman. Today, we're going to talk about the imposter syndrome. And I want to speak directly to this because I find that that is something that I have begun to feel or sometimes feel um, shortly after I see a client or if someone says, hey, are you a shaman? And I have this idea that shamans are these revered people that live in the country, that live in the mountains, and that have generations of instruction and exposure and training and times of fasting and tribulations and having to prove themselves and so forth. So, having said that, I do prefer the term medicine woman, mujer medicina, and I specifically deal with medicine of the soul, of the heart, of the spirit. And what I do know is that I've been able to really assist and facilitate some wonderful healing and peace for so many of my clients that I know I'm not an imposter, but we're going to discuss that anyway. So, um, hopefully, in the future, we'll have interviews with other practitioners that have joined this wonderful field and see how they see it, if perhaps they also have feelings about that or can share more about that. But as for me, in my personal experience, um, I'll I'll say that it's really important when taking on a practice such as this that really goes beyond the three-dimensional world, that really impacts us on a spiritual level. You really are tapped into source and the infinite wisdom that is available to all. Every single one of you, every single person out there listening to me today has access to tap into the Great Spirit, God, Source. You know, from here I'll probably continue to refer to God as such. But whatever is more comfortable for you. But ultimately it is all knowledge. We are all connected, and in this connectivity we'll have access equally, and you can develop this gift. So I do encourage anyone listening that feels that they are a facilitator or have a passion for assisting in this, others to tap into their to spiritual knowledge or answers or cleansing or lifting of heavy energies and heavy hearts, to go ahead and pursue that. I find that the wisdom that I've received through limited training, and I say limited because I feel like in life you're a lifelong learner. So in the course and instruction that I took uh, to learn more about specifically the shamanic practices of the Peruvian indigenous peoples, it's been really eye opening. There's a lot of similarities with what I would consider my previous faith and instruction in faith and the spiritual world. So let's go back to the issue at hand. Imposter syndrome. Am I really doing this? Is this really happening? Are these results really true? Is this all hocus pocus? You know? And I'm going to bring to light a particular case that I just worked with recently. I also am a pet communicator, and I speak with, I'm able to assist pet owners or uh, caregivers, pet caregivers, a chance to communicate directly with their pets and vice versa. Their pets have a lot to say. And also in assisting in the grieving process when we lose a pet and the grief that accompanies that loss. I've worked with individuals or clients that have had ailing pets, pets that are very ill or sick. And I will share my one of these recent uh, clients that called me with her pet parakeet that was not well, was not breathing well. And I, of course, I am not a veterinarian. So I always leave the medical decisions to the client and encourage all clients with pets to have a trusted veterinarian that they go to for any medical um, questions and concerns. I'm simply addressing the emotions that are tied and linked with the care of a pet. So, on that aspect, I find that I am qualified to speak. And when my client said, "Well, my pet's not doing well," and we already discussed this, the issue of the vet, and she needed to make that call and that judgment. But as for the pet, I was able to read that this parakeet will be with her always, that she will be there, not always, but that will be there for a long time. That was the message. She's going to be there for a very long time. And I felt so much peace coming from her parakeet. And I shared that with the client. After our session, she did take the parakeet to the vet to get a an diagnosis and such. And but as far as the outcome, sadly, my client lost her parakeet, um, and her parakeet passed on, which left me feeling a little shaken. Like, why would I get that very strong feeling that her parakeet will be with her for a long time? He will be with her. And it was such a strong feeling. So when my client calls me back to let me know that sadly her parakeet passed on, that her illness was, she was unable to recover from her illness, it really struck me. It hit me. I felt kind of like a fake, like, is this really the messages that I'm getting from pets? Is it my own overactive imagination? These were all legitimate questions that I had to ask myself. Um, and I struggled with that for a couple of weeks, and I received a lovely message from my client stating that meeting with me and facilitating that communication with her pet gave her a lot of peace, that she feels that her pet is with her in spirit, and that she really enjoyed that um, session and feels that her parakeet indeed is with her, guiding her and providing direction and answers to queries. And so she also felt very strongly that her parakeet was informing her that she would be with her. Not in the way that I thought, not in the physical world and in this physical realm, but in a spiritual sense. And I know that we do have guides and spirits that guide us, that lead us, that perhaps see their role much more, perhaps kind of what I see, that they are able to do more for us in the spirit realm than in the physical. And perhaps that is why sometimes our loved ones depart, or at least that is something that complements their leaving per se. And that's food for thought. Maybe a conversation for another day. But going back to that, it really reassured me that although this is a little new to me, relatively speaking, it is definitely something that is true to me. And it's just a wonderful opportunity that I've been given to pursue this and to facilitate for so many of my lovely clients that have given me such beautiful feedback and encouragement really to continue this work. So many of us are needing to assist in grief or lifting of heavy energies, of getting a sort of breaking free from um, long standing limiting beliefs, perhaps inherited beliefs that through a few sessions can can be lifted and really be life changing. Um, well, having said that, I think that'll be all for today. Thank you for your time. I will include in the description the link if you'd like to have a session with me, either a pet communication session or a clearing of your energies. That's definitely something that you could give me a message or schedule below. Also, if you have any questions or any topics that you'd like me to cover, please feel free to leave me a message. Thanks again for joining us here at the Eclectic Shaman.